Balance my. I think I've got that balanced. I think we're good to go. Okay. Hello, hello, everyone. We are in the month of June. We have made it to June, and now we are going to keep on keeping on. We've been doing great so far with our shoe progress or our throw progress. I, of course, say shoe, but I love all the glitter throws. I make shoes because I ride in muses, but I'm realizing that a lot of the designs I've been doing for the marathon, because I'm kind of falling back on things that are super comfy for moi. I'm kind of doing a lot of very shoe heavy designs, like the flip flop sandwiches. It's hard to do that as like a grail or whatever. So I'm thinking about that. I'm trying to decide what kind of makes sense to balance both what's comfortable for me and what is universal, what is more applicable to different things. So we are continuing on. We are basically done, sort of like rounding to the nearest shoe. We are basically done with our crawfish boil shoes. We have got, I need to clear the space. We have got this cutie patootie that we basically finished in our last session. Let me go ahead and brush her loose bits because there's always some loose bits. So she has got her boil pot pouring out. She's got her muses and her 2027. All that she's waiting on is her paddle. So we will add that because I do think the paddle's really cute. The silver is so reflective that at certain angles, I'm like, oh, I have red there. And I don't have red there. I'm just seeing the little pieces, the little flakes of Ceylon Silver Girl are little mirrors and they're catching. But that's fun. All right. So she is basically done, just needs a paddle. Her sister here, same situation. She is basically done, just needs a paddle. I needed to buy one more 4-pack of corn and buy one more 4-pack of corn. I did. I also, after all my big talk about how I found every veggie that I had ever squirreled away, I went looking for something unrelated and found one more little bag of veggies. Uh I really squirreled some things away. Do learn from my chaos and try to keep your stuff organized. So these are basically done, looking very, very cute. Love them. We do need to continue glittering our boa paddles because these are partially done, but you can see I've got some missing spots, I've got some bald spots. So we're just going to continue. They'll, we'll do slow and steady, a little bit here, a little bit there, and eventually we will get to where we're going. That is the way of things. Keep on keeping on, and somehow it all comes together. Let me get it. So I do want to keep on working on that. The other thing that I need to do is the suspension. Well, let me do this first. So I am doing Baked with Love because I think it's a nice sort of, neutral, sort of toasty gold. Not too brassy, not too silver. Though I guess you could do you do a wooden boil paddle. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. Anything's a tongue twister if you're goofy enough. I believe a boil paddle is traditionally wood. I don't know if people do boil paddles in other mediums. All right. So that is, I just did the back. I believe, the back doesn't really show because once you put it down on the shoe, you hide the back, but we're gonna go ahead and completely cover it because you just never know. Same one on this one. A couple of bald spots on the back. The front looks pretty good. Oh, no, bald spot on the front. So the paddles are probably like this and then one more session away from done. And then we can adhere them and keep it rolling. That's all we really need to do on the 2 pumps. And the 2 boil pots are they're a little bit more dramatic, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but they do have a slightly more intense silhouette, so they need a little bit more work, I would say. That one down. Same thing on this one. The front looks pretty good, but I think I'll do the back and then I'll do the front in the next session. Though if I pop these in the dehydrator, they might be ready by the time, depending on what we get done. Today I'm going to start glittering strawberries, and glittering strawberries, that's going to be, we are going to be in glittering strawberries land for quite some time, you and I. We are going to be glittering strawberries until we think we can't possibly glitter strawberries anymore. And then we're going to glitter a few more, and then we're maybe going to be almost done. One of my favorite, I used to knit a lot, less so now in New Orleans because a bunch of hot wool on my lap does not appeal to me in this climate. And also because my crafting cup is very full with glitter throws, but I do love knitting. But one of my favorite sock recipes was like, not recipes, one of my favorite sock patterns was like, start knitting the leg of the sock and keep it going until you can't stand it anymore. And wherever you stop, that's going to be the length of your sock. And I liked the honesty and the pragmatism. So sometimes it's like that. All right. So that is my baked with love. She's good. Gonna cap my Especial Violette. I need to do some purple, green, and gold girls for some upcoming private 101s that we have. So at Craft Culture, we do what we call Glitter 101, which kind of covers all the basics. So it's a great way to kickstart your glittering. And we have some private parties coming up that are like, neat. We just, joined a crew and we'd like to learn together and hang out together and get a start on our throws. Get situated. All right, so these two girls are basically done. All we're waiting on is the paddles. And once they get their paddles, they will be Gucci. So I'm calling those, done. I'm not going to mark them on they aren't done until they're in the bags, but those are pretty close to done. So the other thing I needed to buy was one of these 10-yard rolls of silver trim, because I used up all my little bits and pieces of silver trim. I somehow got through all of it. This is another thing I like low key hoard because I love it. And these are no longer being manufactured. So what we have at Craft Culture is all we're going to have. There are still people who make GIMP, but these nice little compact little 10-foot rolls, they don't make these anymore. That's all right. So I've got these two girls who we're still working on. Still, jeez. I found one. I found my bag of veggies and I found one little extra crawfish. So I will probably put her on here to make her even more dramatic. But anyway, we got these two that we're working on. So I'm going to set her aside for now, but I did get more corn to do with her. Oh, what I wanted to say was I found some more wire. I found some more wire to do the suspensions. I have decided, all right, so this is a piece of white wire. Going to set the green one aside. This is a piece of white wire. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to twist it. And that's just going to make it strong enough to hold the little cup of seasoning up. So I am going to do on her, I'm going to do the crab boil pouring in. I want to do that. I am making the executive decision, not only for time, really more for composition, that this girl is just, she's too tall to really, so she's going to look like this. Boop. And it's going to be pouring the crab boil. We're going to do the crab boil and we're going to make the crab boil label. And so that's going to be really cute. She's going to be, like you're boiling all the veggies and the crawfish and you're pouring that big old tub of crab boil in. The Zatarain's crab boil with the yellow, blue, and red label. So that's going to be pouring in. I am looking at her. She's already a pretty tall drink of water. I just don't think she needs it. I think then I think she's good as is, but she's going to get, so I did make 2 of these and I'm going to save it because Lord knows this is not anywhere near my last, not my first crawfish and won't be my last. All right. So, do I have my foam? I want to use a little bit of foam on this. And I had a slice of craft foam with all my crawfish boil stuff, but now I don't see it, which is aggravating, but also kind of on brand for me. But I also think maybe it's for the best because oh, here's the craft foam. I think maybe it's for the best because, well, I'll glitter over it. All right, craft foam. Gonna cut myself a tiny little band-aid. Okay. Okay. So, hot glue. Oh, before I do that, I want to put the silver trim. So I've got my flames, but I do want to go ahead and put a clean silver edge right along the bottom. I painted my flames on and I realized I kind of painted them a little accidentally sloppy. I envisioned it going all the way to the bottom of the shoe, but then once I did it, I was like, I actually don't really like that. So let's stylize it a little bit, but that means I now want to put a clean trim edge where, so y'all can see how like where the paint hits it's pretty even, but it's not perfect. I mean, nothing's perfect. Perfect is not the goal. As I've said 40 bajillion times, we're not shooting for perfect. But a little trim along the edge does make it look just a little cleaner, just a little more finished to my eyes. If you're not a trim person or your edges look clean enough without the trim and you don't feel the need to add to your budget or your chronological, if you don't want to add time or money to the project and you don't feel like it needs trim, hey, you do you. Everyone does it differently, and I have nothing but love for the different ways people do things. As long as it's working. As long as it's working, I got love for it. All right. There's things that like don't work in my opinion, like the shake and bake method with glitter, where you spray glue on the throw and then put it in a bag with glitter and like shake it up. That does not work. And I am really very chill about different kind of approaches to things because like I say, there's many different ways to glitter as there are glitterers. And I think that's beautiful, but I do think there's stuff out there that doesn't work and you know, if I show something, I want to be sure that I have really, figured it out. All right, there we go. So she's looking good. She's already got 3 pieces of corn, so she doesn't really need another piece of corn. Do we want to put an onion in her? No, she looks pretty good. She looks pretty balanced. I don't think she needs anything else. Big girl, Big Bertha over here. Big boil. Big boil Bertha might get a lot more. We'll definitely get a lot more. Why not? Um, or since I found this whole bag of veggies, this is enough veggies to do. If I get one more 6 pack, this is that thing of like you buy chips. It was the oatmeal. The web cartoonist was like, life is you have I can do this. You make nachos and then you run out of cheese, but you have extra chips. So you go to the store and you get more cheese next time, and then you make nachos again. And now you've got enough. You had enough cheese, but like you've got leftover cheese, and so you need to get chips. And so you get the chips, but then your ratio is off, and now you're out of cheese, and you keep doing this and keep making nachos. So if I get 6 more potatoes and 1 dozen crawfish, which is how they come. I could do 2 more. That's enough for 2 more and another 4 pack of corn. You know, we keep it rolling. Okay, so where do I want this to sit? Oh, let me put it in here first. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue inside there, and I'm going to hold my wire into the glue. And I'm going to think patient thoughts. I'm going to slow myself down and force myself to wait because good things come to those who wait, and I want good things to come to me, and I'm going to be patient. What I used to say with my kids when we were trying to be patient, I would say, be, and they would say, patient. And it was our little call and response. But they would know that that's what I was doing because I would say the be weird like that. Be. I bet you they still know that, even though now they're much bigger and they don't need that quite in the same way. Okay, that is good. That is beautiful. I cut my piece of foam and promptly lost it, but it's all right because I got this big juicy piece of foam to work with. And I'm going to do a very tiny little band-aid here. Usually I do a kind of bigger band-aid because I know I'm going to put a bunch of stuff over it, so I'm not as concerned that it be subtle. But in this case, I am going to glitter over everything, but I'm not really adding any crawfish on top this time, the suspension. So I've just put that, y'all see, the wire goes one way and then you put the Band-Aid over it and then glue the Band-Aid down and that makes like a little bracket that holds it. So I am going to glitter over that so it's not going to be like painfully obvious, but I would say I go a little subtler when it's something like this. The boil pot is pouring out of the pot. The crawfish and the crawfish and the veggies and everything are pouring out of the pot, so it's a much thicker pour. This suspension, and if you're doing like a bottle pouring or like a drink, if you're doing or like a watering can, or I saw somebody do like a pouring milk one. When you're doing the suspension, the wire creates the special effect, makes it look like it's pouring. Um, if it's something where you're pouring like a thin stream, you want to kind of be aware that the stream is going to be thinner. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. And the more is if you fiddle around with it, it'll kind of give you a little more. All right, that's looking good. All right, so I'm going to put her right in there. I kind of like my suspension, the silhouette, to be clean. So I don't want it like, obviously, I don't want it like that, but I don't want it too far back because then it's kind of spoiling the line of the shoe. I want it to kind of like line up. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to have it kind of there. I think that's perfect. Perfect, perfect. So I'm going to put a big old dollop of hot glue. And that's going to mean I need to be especially patient, but I'm going to do it. All right, wedge it in there pretty good. And as I always say when I'm doing a suspension, you are going to continue adding to this. So you want it to feel good, but it doesn't need to be 100% of the way there. You want it to feel like it's getting to the place of strength. Oh, nope, we're going to be patient. I was about to start building my suspension there, and it is not quite the time. I do want to stick a lemon in there, but we're going to give it a minute. We're going to be patient. That is the thing I struggle with the most. As I get more technically proficient, as I learn things, as I experience things, I get, better and better in at least maybe not maybe not everything all at once, but I do get better as I go. But man, patience is a tough one. Oh. All right, so I'm starting to draw some hot glue over the wire. I know that's extremely difficult to see because it's so wafer thin and also clear glue, but maybe you can see a little bit. I kind of just drew a line of hot glue over the wire. If I globbed a bunch, it would all kind of glob off. And I would love to show y'all what that looks like when you overdo it and it kind of collapses, but I also don't want to mess up my shoe too bad. So you will have to use your powers of imagination. All right, that looks good. I'm gonna do a little bit more down here. Looking good. And so I'm going to continue to do the hot glue bit by bit. This is the hardest part of a suspension. A suspension is not really that difficult if you can find the patience to build it slowly. So Zen time, Dalai Lama, Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama, Dalai Lama. And once this is built out enough, I'll put a relatively thin stream of crab boil coming out of there. I won't do if you want a bigger pour, I would say you could take a piece of foam and cut yourself like like a ruler, but flexible. You could cut yourself like a long strip and make yourself a wider pour. I've seen people do that very successfully and it looks great. This one, I think I'm fine to have it be sort of a thinner stream. But you do you. You do you. You can, if you're putting something quite heavy and are nervous about it, or your wire is very flimsy, you can make two of these and really get that sucker on there. So that depends. That's totally a trade-off. It takes longer, obviously, to make another wire. But then it looks, a little thicker and a little more substantial. Um, but she's looking good. She's looking good. Do I have any red foam balls? I might put one little red foam ball in there. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh no. It's all right, we got it. All right. Let me put one little red foam ball right there where she's sitting, just to give her a little extra anchor. Yeah, that looks good. And I'm gonna do a little, make the hot glue makes the stream a little thicker, just a little by little. It's kind of like the old-fashioned candles. Like you dip the wax and kind of let it cool off, and then it's very similar to that, actually. Not that that's a terribly common practice for anyone. When you're making a candle from scratch by dipping into beeswax. Y'all know what I mean. Everybody here knows exactly what I'm talking about. Lord. Okay. Trying to decide if I want one more little bubble. Can I do it one-handed? We're gonna find out. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Could probably use a few more bubbles kind of in general to match the hot glue is pretty fast. It cools off pretty fast, but I think once you're waiting for a suspension, it feels like it's taking a really long time. Good anchor. It's worth it. It's worth it to get a good anchor. Y'all can maybe see that at the top is almost a little bit too thick. It's kind of starting to want to drip. So I'm going to hold it like that so I'm not fighting gravity. And I'm going to put a little more down here. That looks good. That looks good. That's cool enough that I can smush it up a bit, but I would not recommend that to my viewers at home. So that's going to be a little intense on your hands. But while I'm gluing, I'm going to get some foam balls and do a little bit more bubbles. Just a little bubbly. Boiling. Maddie, calm down. Inside voice, bud. It's all right. It's all right. Y'all can talk. Y'all don't have to be silent. I would just like you to be quiet. Quiet-ish. Summertime. All right. That's looking good. It's looking good. All right. So I am going to need to continue working on that, kind of little by little, bit by bit, making it stronger. My silver, I'm done with my silver for now. I will put it away. Um, what do I want to do to you? What's going to happen here? Hmm. Put an onion down there. And then we'll get some corn. Where's my, I keep that where y'all can see it while I continue to add to it, but okay, cool. You know what? No, she's already got plenty of corn. Okay, good. Squish it. I have three little foam balls together and they're all the same size and it looks a little strange to me. So I am gonna, while the hot glue is hot, I'm gonna put one that's slightly bigger just so it looks a little bit more like it's actually boiling. So give me 1 second while I fix that. Yeah, that's better. That just looks more to me If the balls next to each other are all the same size, to me that starts to look a little that's a struggle when you're making stuff that is inspired by nature or things that happen in real life. My intrinsic desire is to be like, line everything up neatly, make it all perfect. The sprinkles should all be lined up. But if you do that, you lose some of the lifelikeness because things don't happen like that. When I'm bejeweling a fake bagel, oh man, I making myself cluster stuff, making myself not spread it out perfectly, that is a real struggle for me. Please no judgment of my it's good to fight your perfectionist impulses sometimes. It's totally natural to want it to be clean and to want it to be executed in a way that is beautiful, but it's also good to remember that nothing in life is perfect. Waiting together looks good. My stream is like a good width. I'll make it a little bit wider and then I will glitter it in this fried chicken color so it looks like it's pouring that crab boil seasoning out of the tub. Looks so cute. And we will also make the label for this. And that is going to be kind of like the paddles. We'll do a little here, a little there. It's basically done. We've got time. As I have said repeatedly, the idea of the time scale isn't meant to stress anybody out, especially not me. I especially don't want to do that to stress myself out. But it's meant to be a rough guideline to sort of tell how are we doing to keep us on track. And by us, I mean me. It's keeping me on track. It's amazing once I start like paying attention to what's going on. It's like it's very easy to just be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna go glitter today. I'm gonna do other stuff. I've been doing, I've been busy at the shop. I've been busy with the kids. I don't really." And I do love it. It's not like forcing myself to do it like it's a chore because I really do love it. But it is funny. It's not that it's hard to glitter. It's just that it's really easy not to. Y'all know what I mean? Like it's not hard to do it. It's just really easy not to. That's kind of a strange sentence, but I hope that makes sense to I hope y'all get what I'm saying there. Like, that's a lot of things, even things that we really love. It's just like, oof, I could do it or I could not do it. That's while this is setting up, I'm deciding if I want any more little bubbles in any more spots. I don't want to get insane with it and have it be like it's easy to sometimes lose the forest for the trees or you know what I mean? It's easy sometimes to especially with throws because I feel like you're looking at it and you're looking at it and you're looking at it and it's I have an easy time kind of losing my perspective and being like what's too much? What's too little? What looks balanced? What looks off? Because if you're staring at it, it's very hard to tell what looks off because you've just been looking at it so long. I think that makes sense. It makes sense to me. Hopefully, it makes sense to y'all as well. All right, we're gonna put some corn. Where am I gonna actually, before I get too carried away on her, where am I gonna write muses? Probably there. I almost put a piece of corn where I was about to, where I want to write muses. But I'll put a piece of corn there. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. And I really love all the extras. I love crawfish, but I love the extras. I love it when there's like my precious corn. I dropped a corn. I love it when there's like I love to eat the garlic and the potatoes and the corn. I think that's I know that the crawfish are like the main attraction, as they should be. But, I do love the extras. She looks great. She looks boiling over and just like spilling down the front, and she looks fabulous. I'm very excited. All right. So she is not going to get a suspension because she's already very tall. Like, look at the, like, together they're almost the same. They're almost the same height. If I did a suspension on top of her, she'd be just, I mean, she'd be pretty wacky. Um, so I'm not going to do that, but I do love, I'm happy with that decision. You make it up as you go sometimes. All right. I'm happy with the width on that. Looks good, looks good. I'm gonna add a little more anchor here and let it cool off. She is, I think, I am gonna glitter this one extra crawfish that I found because, like, am I? Am I gonna do that? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm like, you gotta be careful. You gotta keep it in scale. You gotta not completely lose it. All right, you sit over there, my friend. We can hang out, but I need a little space. You sit there. Thank you. All righty. My boys, out of respect, I think went to another room, and I appreciate that, but also I'm like, "What are y'all doing?" I know my moms know the difference, and dads. I know my parents know the difference between, like, good quiet and bad quiet, and my boys are pretty big, so they are pretty trustworthy. They are good. Not that younger kids who are still figuring it out are bad kids or not trustworthy, but mine are at an age where they're, if I don't have my eyes on them, they're still gonna mostly make good choices. All right, one more little guy. Why not? One more little guy. I'll put him with the paddles. How are the paddles feeling? The paddles are pretty good, actually. The paddles are probably. Let's finish the paddles. Actually, what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna start our transfer. My bangs are very uncooperative today, but I'm just not gonna stress about it because there's plenty of real things to stress about. All right, I got my yellow paint. I was like, "Oh, I left my yellow paint at the shop. I left my yellow paint at the shop," forgetting that I have a ton of ketchup and mustard from when I did my double cheeseburger at Jazz Fest. That should tell y'all something about how I operate, that I'm still unpacking my Jazz Fest stuff. But I packed a lot of stuff because I wasn't sure exactly what I was gonna need, and I'm very spoiled by working here or at Craft Culture. And if I'm here and I'm like, "Oh wait, I don't have that thing I need," I can mostly dig and find it. And if I don't find it, I can just put it off and not put it off. I can put it aside. That's what I want to say. I can put it aside and take care of it when I do have what I need. But Jazz Fest, you're like there and it's one day and you're kind of like, you're on a particular schedule. So this is my little base. And I already have checked this to make sure it's like the right side. Let me cut it. I'll cut it all the way out so y'all can see. That's going to make making the transfer slightly more annoying, but these are the sacrifices we make to communicate clearly. All right. So this is my template. I've already checked that it's a good size. Oh, actually, I'm really glad I did that because it's a little too tall. Thank you, glitter gods, for guiding me to a more. I could have cut the transfer, but it's nice to have it be the right size and not have to. That's perfect. That's how it's going to go. So it's going to go on there and it's going to say Muses Glitter Shoes instead of Zataran's Crab Boil, because we like to do a riff. We don't like to do a copy. It's fun to do something that's sort of where the color scheme implies that you are homaging something, but we don't want to fully copy something from someone because that's uncool. All righty. I have any tape? This might be a situation where a piece of tape would be pretty nice. Mhm. I don't want it to slide around too much, but I also don't want to put it flush on the bottom because then I'm going to be making a transfer that's flush to the bottom. That's all right. We're gonna just hold it and be careful. I trust us. And my yellow glitter is, oh, I put my yellow glitter away because we finished. Give me one sec, y'all. I got to get my yellow glitter. Just bear with me. Um, which one do I want? I would love all axed for yellow, but I do seem to be out it. That's fine. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Mm, I like her, but she could use a pinch of cornstarch. And I would have your glitter, your craft room cornstarch, and your cooking cornstarch, and I would not mix those two. I would not put the cornstarch that hangs out in your craft room. I just wouldn't do that. Hard mix just to smooth it out a little bit. This is a mix of all axed for yellow with, I think it's unmarked. What it says is pears. So that's super helpful. This is going to be a mix of things that I used when I did my fruit salad wedges, which that would be a great one to do for the shoe marathon. Y'all will hopefully bear with me as I make the little scalloped edge. Boop-a-doo. Okay. Okay. So I've outlined it in yellow paint. This is yellow scribbles that I've put into the needle tip bottle. And I'm going to squeeze and swirl. And I'm thinking a little bit about how I would use my overhead to do some more transfer intensive stuff for y'all. I think what I will probably do, if anyone's curious, I will make the transfer videos and have those be like a separate thing. And then when I do, so I will document them. I will film myself making them, but just like overhead. And I probably won't talk during that, which is nice because it helps me. There are plenty of things that I can do like on autopilot. A complicated transfer it is nice to kind of focus and hold my breath a little. Not literally, don't hold your breath. Breathe. Always breathe. Um so I will probably make the videos of myself making the transfers with the overhead camera so you can really see everything, and it'll just be that. So if you are curious to watch that, you can watch me do that, and then I will, when I do the proper shoe marathon lives, not proper, the regular front facing shoe marathon lives, I will just be like, here's the transfer we made. And so that way it's not like I can't switch back and forth between angles. It won't let me do that. I don't know why, but I know that it won't because I tried it one time and it was like absolutely not. I've got one little speck of green tinsel in there that I want to get out of there. Get out of there. But my pins are not where they usually are. Oh, y'all. Y'all. Oh, there they are. So I'm going to take a pin and just boop. And then repair my little wounded spot with a little extra glitter. Okay. So that is looking good. So y'all can see that's going to be my transfer. I'm going to do the blue part. The next time I'm in here, I'll do the blue. But let me put that in the dehydrator for now. And then we will do set my template over there because I need my template. We She looks good. Gonna make that just a little bit thicker. I was like, we're gonna do a tiny amount of stuff on the crawfish boils. The crawfish boils are, they're pretty much done. I don't have anything to do on the crawfish boils. Famous last words. This one's gonna be so much strawberries. I do want to at least start the strawberries. I do want to get at least like, I want to touch at least a dozen strawberries. That I find helps me out a lot if I'm like feeling like, oh, I want to get a bunch of stuff done, but I don't want to, I'm feeling like stressed about the amount of stuff on my to-do list. Rather than be like, okay, I need to finish this part of this many shoes, I'll tell myself you just need to touch 3 shoes, and I find if I do that, I take the pressure off myself. And if I take the pressure off myself, then I tend to, as we all do, kind of relax into it and enjoy it. All right, that's feeling good. She looks good. She boings. She's a boingy girl for sure, but I think it's gonna work. She has a little bounce in her. She has a lot of bounce in her, but she's not gonna break, you know? She's not gonna snap off when you load her. And if you're nervous about it, you can do a shorter suspension. That helps for sure. A shorter, you could absolutely lower that. I wonder if I should do that. I wonder if I should lower her to make her less wiggly. Maybe I will. Why not? Why not? And if I, all right. It does take a little work to unhinge her because you have anchored her so securely. And I tell you what, when I do that, I peeled the glitter up off of her. So I'll go ahead and use my backup, which I didn't even know was going to be my backup, but here we are. Do we like a slightly shorter pour? It's not really as fun. I'll shorten the pour up a little bit. We'll shorten it up a little. We won't do it right at the edge. We'll do it like in the middle. That is stronger. Yeah, that works. I'm down with that. I like the way that I vibe with that. Why are you uncooperative? Okay. So I'll scooch that in a little. I'll just shorten up the pour a smidge, just a smidge, just to give her a little more strength. Because if you do a big, tall, suspension, it's going to have a lot more wobble in it, if you will. And be careful with that because hot glue is hot. Okay. That looks good. That's looking good. Okay. While that firms up, we're just going to do, while that firms up, we're just going to do our last coat on our paddles. Just a good top coat, and then we're going to be Gucci. There it is. I'm like, I know I kept the Bake with Love handy. The wooden paddles, because I wasn't super careful about the edges, the wooden paddles are looking a little rustic, but that's all right. We love a rustic wooden paddle. That tells me I am in the hands of an experienced foil master, which is exactly where I want to be. I was saying that about the pot looking dinged up. A dinged up pot is not a bad thing. It's that joke like, you aren't the sharpest tool in the shed. A sharp tool, the sure sign that it hasn't seen a lick of work. You will. Okay. And I'm doing this fast enough that I'm just going to do all of them and then pour the glitter over all of them. You know your own speed. If you feel like you're running out of time and the glue is kind of drying out, can y'all see okay? I know my angle's a little weird today and I apologize for that. What happened was I neglected to charge my phone, or I thought I had it plugged in, but the plug wasn't plugged in. So I have to have it plugged in, and that makes the angle a little weird. All righty. All my little paddles, all nice and done, or they will be when the glue dries. And then we can put them in place. Ah, I bent over to put it in the dehydrator, and my teeth hit my hit my paintbrush. I am finding every wacky way to have things be weird in here that can possibly happen. So that's fun. Yeah, a little less wobble in there. I'll show y'all and you can see the dramatically reduced bobble on that. All right, my crawfish is actually already dry. Today is a pretty dry day in here. Your mileage may vary. She looks good. And the first coat I find always dries faster than the second coat. But we're already ready to do her second coat, which is actually the first coat on the tail because we pinched it by the tail to do the first coat and we're pinching by the claws to do the second. Pinch the tail, then pinchy claws. Okay. And she'll just go into the big dramatic. Oh, you know what else I want to do? I'm going to put, no, that's, strawberries are higher priority. I got the new Lauren Legends glitter here and I would love to put her on a shoe, but I am going to do that, but we're going to be disciplined. We're going to stick to what we need to stick to. Considering we are almost an hour in and still working on the crawfish. All right, y'all see how it doesn't bobble nearly as much? Dramatically reduced bobble. Okay. I'm going to take a small brush. And at Craft Culture, we have the like the 1-inch brushes, which are good, like bread and butter, get everything kind of done brushes. That's a good like multitasker brush. And then we do have the little packs of the smaller brushes. And that's good to just have a pack in some different sizes for who knows what you might need to do. All right. I was like, where's fried chicken? It's in a big tub. I do a lot of fried chicken. All right. So I'm just going to, with my brush, come on in here and glitter over the what would the word be for that other than the pour? Sort of tube, the cylinder, I don't know, the fountain, I don't know what the word would be, but I'm glittering the part of the boil seasoning that is pouring out of the jug of crab boil. All right. That's looking good. That's looking real good. It can be hard to see where the white glue should go on the. Okay. It can be hard to see the white glue on the white hot glue base, but do your best. You can always touch it up if you missed a spot, or you can decide you don't care. Both valid approaches to repairs in your crafting, if not necessarily with your people. If you need, if you have a relationship that needs repair, don't decide that you don't care. Or maybe I don't know. I don't know your life. Maybe you've tried, and I'm getting deeper than I'm getting well above my pay grade. Like, if you've tried many times and you're not achieving repair, maybe you can decide that you don't care about that person. I'm like, we're getting into, don't come to me for that kind of advice. I am not a good person to ask. All right. Though, I mean, I think I do all right. I think I'm good with my people. Okay. I said, like, I'm not a good person to ask. Like, I have a messy personal life. I have a great personal life. All right. That's our girl. She does need her lettering. Do we feel like we want to do that? Oh, no. Do we feel like she is in a place where lettering would be the next step in her journey today? Okay. Let me see if all right, let's see what we got. Let's see how she's doing. Hmm. All right. This tip broke, so I'm going to switch to a fresh one. I am also, as y'all know, a little bit prone to switching to a fresh tube, but we've all got our indulgences. This is one of mine. Oh, I wonder, maybe we could do yellow on her. Should we do yellow on her to match the lemons? Would that be cute? Yeah, we just had the yellow. Where'd my yellow tube go? There she is. There she is. That would be cute. All right. Make sure my yellow, yep, my yellow looks good. Let's do yellow. Do I want to do it right there? Yeah, we're gonna do it. You all right, buddy? Yes, I'm fine. You're so quiet out there. I didn't know you were even out there. No, I know, but you don't have to. It's okay. But thank you. I appreciate it. I'll show y'all in a second, I promise. I love it. And we're going to do that in lemon yellow. Pears works. The pears are the same color as the corn. Pretty, pretty. I'm less enamored now. I don't know how I feel about that flame right there. Do I want to mess with it? Do I want to take that flame off? I might take that flame off and do another one slightly behind it. Y'all know how I change my mind sometimes. I just like that a little better. I'll maybe do a shorter little flame in there with, I'm out of the red, so I gotta decide what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna do anything. But she looks great. I'm very happy with her. I'm gonna continue making her label. Gonna keep working on that. She could probably use a little bit of touch up. I was probably a little heavy handed with the glue in a couple spots, and she's gonna need a touch up. No problem with a touch up. But I am gonna set her aside and let her dry because her, oh, she should get her lemon yellow also. All right, let me gently set her aside. Got to decide where I'm gonna write muses on her. That's kind of, do I want to print it going down? Do I want to curve it on this side? Do I want to do it little down here? I could do it little down there. That'd be cute. Oops, she needs a little, the trim's a little loose right there. As you're handling them, you may find some loose trim spots. When I find a loose trim spot, immediately address it because I know I'm going to forget. I save myself from myself. Do I want to write muses? Yeah, I'll write it there. Do I want it in red or do I want it in yellow? Red looks good. I like the red. Oh, do I? Hmm. Y'all just give 1 second. What do I have? I've got some little transfers. He might not be available, bud. Oh, that's really cute. Do I want that there or do I want it on the other side? Down here. That's pretty cute. Yeah, I like it down there. I think that's really cute. But do I have any E6000? Oh, that's why I can't do, no, I can do strawberries. I can't do blueberries. because I still need to get some toothpicks. I do want to put this here, but I don't think I have any toothpicks. But I am going to put that there for now and know that that's where she's going when she's going. Oh, and then I can put the paddle there. That's right. Whew, we're getting it done. Barely. Skin of our teeth. All right, these two girls are done. This one will be done when her lettering dries and her label goes on her. I like the yellow. The yellow's fun. The yellow's different. It's good to do different things and see what vibes for you. These two are done. That one is very close to done. This one is very close to done. She needs the transfer glued on, and that last crawfish, I'm going to put her on top. I'm probably going to add a few more lemons to the big girls. Oh, I almost touched it. I'm going to not do that. I'm going to not do anything to her while she's drying. Let her have her space. Let her, dry. Okay. So what I wanted to do some strawberries, but we're kind of an hour in. I can do a couple. I can do a couple strawberries. As a treat, I'll let myself do a couple strawberries. Okay. The pears yellow. What the pears yellow is, I'm pretty sure is all asked for yellow, a little bit of baklava to give her a little gold, and some KK's clementine to give her a little bit of like a yellow, not yellow, a little bit of an orange kind of tone. I like that. You guys go over there. Let's clean the space. Let's unplug the glue gun because we're done gluing for now. We will have more gluing to do when our paddles are dry, and we'll add a few more lemons once our girls are ready. You can't rush things. You can't rip the skin off the snake. Always remember that. You got to let things, you keep going at a nice steady pace, but also don't rush yourself or rush your projects. If you keep working steadily, enough will get done. We have to believe that. So let's get started on some strawberries. Oh, here. All right. Just the angle a little. Okay, that'll be fine. We're going to roll with that because that's what we're going to roll with. Y'all give me 1 second to get a clean workspace. Even though the strawberries aren't that sensitive to the cleanliness of the workspace, like if I was doing white work, I would need to really do a pretty intense reset. Intense for me. I never do enough of a reset, probably. Fresh folder. I've got Mom Creole tomato in a bag, and I've got an empty jar. I'm going to give the jar a little bit of a brush and tap it out so it's clean. You can also Swiffer these. You do you. And I'm doing the first coat, so I don't need to put any confetti in it yet. Beautiful. I'm just going to do pure Mom's Creole tomato. And I'm just going to get started with 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Oh, they're back there. I wonder if I should just accept the number of. Oh, and you know what else I'm going to do? Where am I? I want to do her. I'll do that. I don't need to do that as part. That doesn't need to be part of the shoe marathon. Though I have the oranges open, so I might as well. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? 9, 10, 11, 12. A dozen berries, very manageable starting point for us. I feel fine about getting a dozen berries done. Before I do the berries, and I know I keep putting everything before the berries, I'm gonna Yeah, okay. I have a jar that is a mix of persimmon pudding, which is a semi-sheer, really bright orange, a really like citrusy orange, and mango freeze, which is a more coppery, opaque. And I'm going to do that on the bottom of the shoe, which is not part of the shoe marathon. Not yet, anyway. Well, this one won't be part of the shoe marathon, but we will probably do some cocktail party shoes this month. Not this month. This month we're doing berries, but I'm planning to release the kit this month. So if you buy the kit this month, you'll be ready to do this one with me next month. It's really fun and really cute. And if you buy it, you get to fuel my weird miniature gelatin obsession. And who doesn't want to do that? It's totally valid to not want to fuel that, but also I love making those weird little mini gelatins, and I'm very excited to teach other people. And even if you don't necessarily like love embellishing those, it's good to know how to do little mini embellishments. You never know when you're going to make like a mini dessert or a mini something mini. All right. Perfect. You good, Momo? All right, beautiful. It's not oh, y'all, I should have done I should have done like the avocado green. I should have done well-earned grass stains. That's all right. I'm gonna make a million of these. Not a million, but I'm gonna make a lot of these. I can do that on my next one. I've got more tables here. I just need to cut the straps. That would be so much fun though. Look how good well-earned grass stains and then orange and probably like a brown. Ooh, if we get like oh, that's really cute. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. It's hard. A good color scheme grabs you and you want to just zip off. But if you let yourself do that too many times, then all of a sudden you've got 125% finished shoes and nothing to throw. Ask me how I know. You got to find a balance, between what makes you happy and what gets you the result. And as I've always said, you're not like on a contract. You don't have like a quota. Nobody's going to fire you if you don't have enough shoes. But if what you're envisioning for yourself is the pleasant experience of giving shoes to people, you kind of want to get your 30 shoes. And you do a few for friends. So what I'm doing right now is taking the green leafy bit off of these strawberries. Fake strawberries, this is usually a separate piece. The stem is usually connected to the strawberry and then the little leafy bit. Some of them it's harder to get to convince them to disconnect than others. Boop. And we glitter these separately and then put them all together before we assemble. And so saying out loud for myself once again, so I remember, come on, brain. Um, I need to get some toothpicks so I can do our blueberries. And I'm gonna play with some. I might put some cherries on some. I feel like the blueberry strawberry combo is so perfect. I don't know if it needs the cherries, but I am gonna play around. Like I said with the crawfish boils, it's good to do different stuff. Even if you aren't like, oh, I hate the way I'm doing this. I need to find something new. It can feel good to just try something different and see. Even if you try something different and you're like, oh, I actually really love the way I did that in the first place. I actually do not want to change that. You have learned something about your artistic vision and your preferences and your tastes and yourself. And that's a beautiful thing. All right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All righty. Let's do it, y'all. We got it. We got this. So I hold it by the stem. Over there, girls. I hold it by the stem and that kind of steadies it. But I would also recommend sort of steadying it. You use the stem to pull it against your fingers so that it doesn't wobble around too much. Because that's the hardest part is kind of getting it to hold still while you get it. Beautiful, beautiful. What color do y'all think of the seeds on a strawberry being? Do you think of them as black or yellow? I don't know. I feel like I'm mandala affecting myself a little bit. Because I'm like, are they black or are they yellow? Would love to hear people's thoughts on that. I'm going to get a tray going, just like we did with the crawfish, just like we did with the we did another design, didn't we, where we made a bunch of little pieces and oh, well, no, the shrimp, we the toppings for the po' boy. We made the pickles and the stuff and we put it on the tray. All right. So if you hold it here, it's going to like I don't know if y'all can see how much that's bobbling around, but it is aggravating. So I'm going to use the stem to pull it against my fingers to steady it, and that's just going to help me out. Nice. And so that does mean that you're going to have to come back and do the top of the strawberry later. But the thing is, the top of the strawberry doesn't matter as much because it's going to get covered back up with that leaf. So I will probably put something on there, but I'm not going to stress about it too much. And as y'all know, I kind of recommend when you're glittering something, not putting the glue, glitter, and setting it down. So like if I did a shoe, I wouldn't pick it up, glue, glitter, and then put it down because then it's not going to dry evenly. So like this girl that I just glittered, I set her down on her side so that her glue glitter layer can dry untouched. If I put her down like this and let her dry like that, like flat against the table, I'm not doing it because I don't want to smush her, I would smush her. And you would pick her up and you'd have like stuff that didn't dry evenly and it would bum you out. You know, not like catastrophically, but it would be like, oh, that's not smooth and pretty. So you let it sit like that. That being said, little stuff like our strawberries, they are little enough that they just don't have as much weight to like press those uneven splotches into the glitter layer. So it's probably all right. So I am technically going to set it down like that on my tray. It is technically, but it's not going to smudge because it's light, it's little. So with the balls and stuff that's round, like I'm gonna do the blueberries once I get the toothpicks. I'm gonna do blueberries, and once I pick what color blue I'm gonna do, I have to check what I'm gonna do with that. Because you got for red, I really want Mom's Creole Tomato because it's like a bright, bright red, and then I'm gonna put some 1mm confetti in it. And I'll probably do a mix. I'll probably do some that get Mom's Creole Tomato with the 1mm Ruby Slipper Hex. Oh, I can do another, I can start, because we're in June, I can start the berry basket shopping list. That'll be fun. Ba, 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 ba. I really want the red and both Mom's Creole Tomato with a little bit of the 1mm Ruby Slipper in there and Solo Cup Red are both really like reds, really like when you picture a juicy ripe strawberry, what I picture is Mom's Creole Tomato or Solo Cup Red. They are closely related. They are close relatives. But for the blueberries, it's a little bit more, you got more options, you know? You could do killer blueberry pie, which is really beautiful. You could do blue jay, which is a nice, rich, sort of not dark blue, but a deeper blue than some of our blues. But you could do a lot of stuff. You could almost get a little bit of purple in there on your blueberries. You could mix a little bit of something a little purpley and that would vibe. I also think it's cool to have a mix of stuff that isn't like I don't want like completely different stuff. I don't need although that would be cool. I'm like I don't need like a bright pink strawberry in there with all my red strawberries, but that would be kind of cool. If you're doing that, do that. That's awesome. But it's fun to have a bunch of slightly different reds. That makes it look again not too uniform, a little more lifelike. That's kind of the general vibe. All right, 6 done. And then I'm gonna go play with my boys. All right, we're getting there. And I'm telling you, June is going to be a lot of this. A lot. Get used to this, the sight of me doing this, because we're going to do it a lot. Because to fill up a big, beautiful basket, we're going to need a lot of berries. That is the name of the game. Ooh, and I can, if I get my skewers, I can do my Easter eggs. That's gonna be its own kinda dedicated thing because the Easter eggs are gonna get oh, do I wanna wait until ooh, thoughts, I'm having thoughts. I might there's a set we're planning to, like, re-release that was all semi-sheer pastels. It was called, like, the Fantasy Dream set, I think, because it was all mythical beasts from fantasy, you know, lore and not lore and legends like the Glitter series, but from fairy tales and stuff. So Unicorn Dreams was this really soft pink. I'm trying to remember them all. Mermaid Dreams was like this really soft blue. There was like Pixie Dreams, and I don't remember them all, but it was 6 pastels. And they were very, very pretty. And they were all named for like magical creatures. And we haven't had it in a while because they're tricky to formulate, those pastels. But I got some samples and I think I have figured out a reformulation that is going to solve the bumps from the first attempt and be just as beautiful but even better. New and improved, as they say. I know the joke, it can't be both new and improved, but these I think are going to be. So if I wait, if I'm patient, oh snap, y'all, that would be perfect for me doing Lisa Frank and Easter eggs. Oh, I'm pretty sold. Okay. All right. Okay. I got a game plan. I got a game plan. We have so many colors of glitter at Craft Culture. We've got over 100 colors of glitter, and a lot of them are exclusive to us. Like we formulate and mix them in-house. We are, of course, not cutting glitter at Craft Culture. We don't have those big scale machines, but like we will provide specs for what we want. And we do a lot of mixing in-house. So a lot of the colors we have are exclusive to us, not all of them. But a lot of what we have is exclusive to us. And we have like over 100 colors of glitter, and we've got edible glitter and wearable glitter and craft glitter and, semi-sheer glitter and metallic glitter. We've got so much glitter, which is a happy sentence. Makes me feel tingly all over. Oh goodness. But then I still find that there's things I want. I'm like, oh man, I really want to get the fake beignet sugar that I used the year I did beignets. I love all of our cheap glitters, but I want an even more see-through glitter, and I want to bring back the pastel fantasy dreams, but I want to do them better than before. And we've got another couple of projects that we're doing sort of related to lore and legends that are going to come out like in the fall. And of course, we've got the lore and legends. So there's always so many more glitters to add, which is awesome. It's just a matter of deciding who and when, what glitter is going to be next and when. All right, I am going to call it there. I do have, this is a mix of green card, Grace's green card, and Buggy's boogers. And I'm going to do some of my strawberry leaves like that. I'm probably not, I'll show you real quick how I do the strawberry leaves, just in case you're like, yes, it's June and I'm going to make berries. I want to be supportive of you in that. So when you're doing thin stuff like this, like leaves or individual petals, or I'm trying to think what else, little thin stuff, little thin kind of flat stuff like this, what you're going to want to do is get 2 pieces of paper, your glue paper and your glitter paper. Do not mix them up. And you're going to hold your little leafy eye against the paper and do both sides. You'll get a little glue on your fingers. Okay, that is glued. And then you're going to do both sides and set that down with the berries. I guess, zip through. I guess I could zip through these. We'll see. My phone battery is low because I repositioned it. So we'll see. And you don't want to mix up your glue and your glitter page because I have a bunch of glue now here. And if I poured glitter on top of it, it would get all glittery and ridiculous. And I would not be able to use it anymore because it would be all clumpy. And Also, it wastes glitter, which nobody wants to do. All right. But this is how I do my little leaves when I'm doing like a butterfly garden or any kind of thing, you know? Oh, and I do want to do a mix of greens, I'm realizing, but I'm going to make so many berries this month that it is okay if I do this whole batch of 12 in this mix of greens. The Buggy's Boogers just makes it look really bright and really like vivid and alive and, ripe and fabulous. But I am going to mix in some Grace's Green Card and do some that are just solidly green. I'm probably not going to go all the way into like a mossy green like Debbie's Destiny or Nessie Green or like I still use a Sasaya a lot. She was limited edition and she isn't on the shelf, so I don't want to use her too much because I don't want y'all to be like, "No, Nori, I can't use that." But I do still use a Sasaya a lot because she's like a really pretty leafy green. Um, but yeah, I probably won't go all the way into like Into the Woods, Debbie's Destiny, Grimm's Forest. I probably won't go all the way into that territory. I'll keep it kind of bright. So I'll use some Kelly Green. I might use Shamrock Star, which is a Kelly Green that is holographic. I don't mind having a little bit of holographic on my leaves. I think that's pretty. Flipping them like pancakes. Oh, I might run out of space on my little tray. That's all right. We'll figure it out. And I am getting kind of like, you know, like when you're breading chicken, you get that kind of like when you're frying chicken or you're frying catfish and you dip it and you start to get like the little kind of weirdness on your hands that you have to wash off from time to time. Y'all know what I'm talking about, or am I? So you do get a little bit of that on these two fingers, but I've got some. I'm going to go wash my hands after that. And also, I have a baby wipe here if I just feel like I need to clean my hands. I wonder if you could get into a rhythm of doing that. No, I don't think that would work. If you could keep the glue on one hand and the glitter on the other, but I think that would slow you down too much. Maybe if you hit a rhythm. I don't know. All right. We're zipping through these. No problemo. And I'm going pretty fast on these. I will probably give them a second coat. The other thing you can do if you're feeling like this is a little messy is you can pinch by one leaf. Leave yourself a little pinchy spot that gets no glue on it whatsoever. And you can sprinkle the glitter. And then you will have to later glitter that, but you'll probably do a second coat anyway because the second coat makes it more filled in and better. All right, almost there. So I personally am gonna deal with the little dirty fingers just for now so that they're totally covered. But I will probably have to do second coat or touch ups. We'll see. We'll see. All right, almost done. Almost done with our first dozen. I need to think about how many I'm gonna make because I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole bag. The bag's like 100. That is a lot of strawberries. Mm. All righty. There's my tray so far. Oop, rolling around a little bit. It's all right if a little bit of crosstalk happens. So those are my strawberries so far. That is my first batch, and they are not done. So, but it is a starting point. We have gotten started. We have officially started on our June berry baskets. So I'm planning to do, I think, I haven't exactly decided. I want to do 6 berry baskets. Well, I need to do 6 shoes in June. And I can probably do all berry baskets. I'm thinking about the month where I felt the most like, oh wow, I got so much done. Hooray, hooray. I feel so ahead. Is the month that I powered through 8 ring shoes in 1 month. And a ring shoe is less work than a berry basket. And I mean, work is complicated. It's not harder, it's just a lot of little fiddly things. Brushes in the glue. Not brushes in the glue, brushes in the water lid on the glue. You decant your glue, make sure you use something that isn't going to glue itself shut, something like that. So I might try to do, I've got enough shoes. I'm going to try to do at least 6 berry baskets. I have my Easter eggs, and I think I have enough Easter eggs to do one basket. And also, I'm already kind of stretching it a little doing an Easter egg basket in June. But, you can't, I'm a grown up. You can't tell me what to do. If I want to do glitter Easter eggs in June because it makes me happy, you better believe I'm going to do glitter Easter eggs in June because it makes me happy. So I'm going to do one Easter egg basket. I'm going to do one little forager kind of witchy basket with mushrooms. So we're in June. I can tell you all about it now. All right. I'll show you all the mushrooms next time. I have a couple of options for mushrooms, so I'm going to do a little mushroom basket. I don't know if it will be cute or not. I've never done it before, but we're going to find out. So that one's going to be a little witchy, and then that means I have to do 4 berry baskets if that's how I want to do it. And I think I do. There's other stuff I could do. I could do little apples. Oh, I actually, now that I am saying that, I remember that I wanted to do a little Louisiana citrus because I got some shoes that have orange on them and have the basket, and I think those would be really good. And I have these little bows. Yeah, yeah. So if I'm doing it correctly, we're going to do one witchy mushroom foraging, one witchy mushrooms, Easter eggs. Boy, we're really playing with the aesthetics this month. But that's, I'd say Persephone was the queen of spring and the goddess of hell. So, we contain multitudes. Easter eggs or goth mushrooms, Easter eggs. And then I'm going to do 3 berry baskets and 1 or 2 citrus. 1 or 2 citrus. We're going to do 6 or 7 baskets. To be determined. Let's see how I feel about it. Um, and how it goes. So yeah, we're gonna start out just doing a lot of fruit and some little mushrooms and some Easter eggs. I need to get that set ready because I hate to show y'all something and be like, wait for it, it's coming. I know that's annoying. So I need to get the clear glitter that I'm using on the straw and on my decoupage. The light doesn't show her real great. I'll take some sunlight pictures. So I need to get that, and I need to get the pastel dream set back in. But anyway, great start to June. I feel amazing. I feel like we're killing it. We're going to finish up our crawfish boils. They are trucking along. Just a few more little details. Those little details, we'll get them done at a steady pace. I'm not worried about it at all. Not worried about anything at all. We are doing so good. And let's see, it's June. So we've got June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 7 months left between us and the marathon goal. I would like to have the 60 done by the end of December. And December, I probably want to we're not going to worry about that now. I'm like, oh, October's busy and December's busy. So I probably we're not going to worry about that now. We're shooting for 6 a month, and we've got about 7 months left to do, but I feel amazing about it. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope everybody else's glittering is going well. I hope everybody is having a nice summer so far and not too hot and too sweaty. And I hope everyone continues to feel good about where they are relative to their goals, because I certainly do. And that is a wonderful feeling. Bye-bye, y'all.